Namaste. In this video, we'll be learning the Sukshma Vyayama practices specific for those with the condition of diabetes. These are simple movements to release any kind of physical stresses from the various joints in our body. We'll start from the neck and slowly work our way down towards the toes, working on each and every part of the body. Try to practice this with comfort and ease, repeating the movements at least 5 to 10 times at your own pace. Let's begin the practice. The first movement is your neck movement up and down. As you breathe in, you have to look upwards, dropping your head back. And as you breathe out, you're going to drop your chin down to the chest, looking downwards all the way. Repeat this movement 5 to 10 times with a comfortable breathing. Once you finish, come to the center and let's move on to the next set of practice. The neck movement side to side. Breathing in at the center, breathing out, look all the way towards the right side. Breathing in, coming back to the center again. Breathing out, look all the way to the left side. Breathing in, coming back to the center. Repeat this movement 5 to 10 rounds with comfortable breathing and focus on the next movement. The last practice for our neck is dropping the neck to the right and left side. Breathing in at the center. As you breathe out, release the right ear towards the right shoulder. Breathing in, coming back to the center. Breathing out, dropping the left ear towards the left shoulder. Breathing in, coming back to center. And continue practicing this 5 to 10 rounds. The next set of practices is for our shoulders. For this, extend your arms forward and bend your elbows so that your fingertips reach the shoulders. Join the elbows in front of your chest. As you breathe in, move the elbows upwards, backwards, downwards, and forwards again, joining them back to the center. Repeat this movement 5 times, and once you finish 5 rounds, you're going to commence the same practice in the opposite direction. Extend your arms forward, fold them in, join the elbows. This time, drop the elbows downwards, backwards, upwards, and forward once again to join them at the center. You can continue doing the practice for 5 to 10 repetitions in the same manner. Once you finish, just take a moment to relax. The next set of practice is for the elbows. Extend your arms in front of you. Let the left palm support the right elbow from under and your right arm coming up to a 90 degree. From here, crank your elbow in the clockwise direction, making large circles with your fingertips. You can do that 5 to 10 times in the clockwise direction and 5 to 10 times in the anti-clockwise direction. Make sure the elbow is cranked all the way. The same practice you can repeat on the opposite hand, this time using the right palm to support the left elbow and commencing the same clockwise rotations for 5 to 10 rounds and the anti-clockwise direction for 5 to 10 rounds. Once you've finished, just release your arms down and the last joint on our arm, the wrist and fingers, just going to work on simple wrist rotations and tightening of the fingers. Stretch your arms forward. Make a fist by putting your thumb in and the other fingers wrapped on top of it and gently make rotations in one direction. cranking the wrist as much as possible. Practice 5 to 10 rounds in one direction and 5 to 10 rounds in the opposite direction. Once you've finished, the last practice, just tightening of the fingers. Spread your fingers out wide and tighten your fingers in by making a fist again. Do this 5 to 10 times, releasing any stress in the wrist and fingers. Once you're done, you can relax your arms down and rest. The next practice is for the waist region. Hip rotations is very essential to create mobility and build strength in our body. Place your palms on your waist with your feet slightly apart. From there, making large rotations with your waist region. From there, move the waist forward, towards the right, backwards, towards the left, and forwards again. This completes one rotation. Practice 5 to 10 rotations on your own, breathing comfortably. Once you have finished your 10 rounds, please come to center and practice it in the opposite direction. From there, move the waist forward, to the left, back all the way, to the right, and forward once again. Make sure you're practicing equal counts on both sides. The next practice is for the lower part of the body, especially the lower limbs, focusing on the knees and the ankles. Bring your legs together. Bend your knees and place your palms on top of your knees. Making simple rotations with your knees in the clockwise direction first. So, making a rotation action with your knees. You can practice 5 to 10 rounds on the clockwise and 5 to 10 rounds in the anti-clockwise direction. Make sure you're doing equal counts on both sides. And finally, the ankle and toes, simultaneously working them together. From here, placing your hands on the waist with the feet little closer to each other, not wider than your shoulders. As you breathe in, you're going to come up on your toes, stretch and lift yourself off the mat. And as you breathe out, you're gently going to place yourself back on the floor. Practice the same movement 5 to 10 rounds. Now, we are going to focus on the spine and vertebral column. This part of the body is what houses the major organs of our body. So here, we'll do simple movements of the spine, starting with Tiryaka Tadasana. Keep your feet shoulder width apart. Interlock your fingers over your head and stretch your arms up. Breathing in at the center. As you breathe out, allow your spine to bend. Breathing in, coming up, and breathing out, bending on the opposite side. Breathing in, coming up. Continuing to do the same practice from 5 to 10 rounds on each side. Once you've finished, come back to center and prepare for the next practice for the spine is Parivritta Trikonasana, dynamic movements. So for this practice, you want to keep your legs wider, little wider than your hips, with the feet firmly planted into the ground. Raise your arms up to the side, breathing in here. As you breathe out, take the right fingertips all the way down to the left toes and twist. Breathing in, coming up to the center again, and breathing out, twisting on the opposite side. Breathing in, coming up, and repeating the same movements 5 to 10 times on each side. The last practice for the vertebral movements, the spinal movements, is a simple forward and backward bending, Hasta Uttanasana to Pada Hastasana. Place your hands on the waist with your knees bent softly. As you breathe in, move the waist forward, lift your chest up. And as you breathe out, keep your knees bent and fold forward all the way towards your thighs. Breathing in, coming up. And as you complete, practice 5 to 10 repetitions of this particular spinal movement. Once you've finished, take some time to settle down in Shavasana and rest for a few moments. After spending 3 to 5 minutes in Shavasana, feel free to move out of the practice and continue with the next set of asanas and exercises. Thank you.